All right, guys, welcome back again. And this would be the third day of our program, and very excited, guys. A lot of very interesting announcement for you, and lots of powerful concepts of this journey we are going to discuss today, right? But before I start, again, let me explain you what exactly we are in. Okay, guys, overall plan for this particular training, the overall plan for this particular training is it is not actually the only Python training. It is more far beyond than Python, right? Typically, the main plan over here is to slowly, guys. I would like to take you to the new era or new logical world where you start thinking work like a creator, right? So if you really want to work as a creator or as a researcher and to create something new from your own, it is not about in only the creating the app, right? It is about creating your own internal library. For example, if ever anybody work on data science or anybody work on machine learning or maybe the deep learning in any kind of this kind of technical world, if you have work on, so you guys might have used multiple library or maybe you might have used multiple modules. Okay, but every time we use, right, we never go inside and see how exactly it's been configured, right? But in this training, in this journey, we will go inside these modules and try to understand how it's been constructed or been created, and that give you a feel or that give you a sense or the feeling that we are now started the journey of the creator or the core researcher or the developer of this part, right? So this training is, guys, is obviously this training I told you in the first day, it is not the machine learning training or the data or sorry, deep learning training. Okay, but if you are interested to go in that journey, okay, the core that none of the training, none of the university, none of the degree will train you guys, we will discuss in this training, guys. So one of the main approach or one part we are going to do and discuss in this training about the core internal of the library. Second thing we are going to do in this training is, if you guys know API or maybe have heard about the API, or if you guys heard about the web app or website, or maybe you've heard about a Flask framework, right? So in this training, guys, we are going and create our own application or the web app application, or maybe creating our own API in this program, right? So again, there is no prerequisite to know any of these concept, any of this terminology. In upcoming class, I'll show you. Even though even though you guys might have heard about Flask, but we will go inside it, right? So what I mean by this, maybe as a lot of web developer, we normally directly use the framework, right? But almost as a web developers or web app developer or API developer, we don't know what exactly happening behind the scenes. So my plan is to again take you in that internal journey, because for me, I believe you are the engineer. Engineer doesn't mean you are doing engineering, right? Maybe you belong to any of the field. Lots of guys over here working as a working professional of maybe of 10-20 years of experience in some of the company. A lot of guys are doing their graduation maybe in a commerce side or e-commerce side, or maybe technical side, or maybe some of the student might be students, school students also, right? So almost I create my content in such a way that any of the domain you guys work on, this concept feed you, because I told you in the first day, Python is not just a Python, it is a language, right? And anybody can talk this language and can learn this language, and this language we can use to communicate with our operating system. Okay, so if you want operating system will do something for you, okay, we can use Python. So for me, anybody can learn this particular training and this path, but in future you will see, guys, we go into very different level, and I can give you the guarantee that none of the Python training will talk about at that particular kind of advanced level, right? So I told you guys in my first, there is no meaning of advanced, it is about the core, right? So we will talk about the core of the Python or core of the technological stack, right? Before, guys, I go ahead, I have one great or one very unique announcement for you. Even though this is the initiative, guys, I was working on from last couple of years, and we are the one who launched this particular initiative, but the the way I got a response in IIC Rise, this particular Python training. So I think you guys might know, right? We have around 45,000 plus registration on this particular program of Python, right? I think this is one of the biggest program happen on the earth, right? Where in some live training, it again is not webinar, it is not seminar, right? It's not workshop, right? In one training, such a huge crowd in almost all the background we are in this particular track. It is a one big one big success. We have we have a step towards that particular economics, towards success, right? But guys, whatever announcement I have, before guys I announce one interesting part that I that we have planned for you guys. So before guys I announce this part, let me first very highly, I just want 2 minutes from you. Let me first very quickly set the context, then you might understand why I am and we are doing this thing for you, right? So, but I think, guys, if you go through my first day lecture, very briefly, I talk about where we are talk about our vision, that is making India future ready. By the way, guys, today is 15th August, and so in India we have the Independence Day. So I would like to give all the wishes to you guys, right? Okay, what I'm talking about here, what I believe, guys, because I have if you guys go through my Linux video also, we have shared some of my Linux video to you to give you a basics idea about the Linux. Okay, so you guys might have seen lots of tips and tricks I have shared with you there, and there I give you there I give you a guarantee. There I give you a guarantee that there I give you the guarantee that lots of things is not available in the market, right? Even though the concept I explain you, maybe very basic concept I explain you there, in articles, in blogs, some of the Wikipedia article, that concept was very much wrong, and I explain you why. I explain you why there, and it is not only that I explain you why, I plus give you the proof also, because whenever I say something, I always prove the thing. For example, on the first day, I give you one question to you, that whenever you run any program, your variable data load on the RAM. Okay, maybe you guys work on any of the programming language, or this part you guys know, have heard about thousands of times. When you run the program, data load on the RAM, but I believe nobody give you the proof. But in this training, I will give a proof. I will show you. We will go inside the RAM. I will open the complete RAM by some program, and I'll show you the entire data of the RAM, the current data on the RAM, and then I'll show you that this is the statement or the concept you learn is 100% appropriate or it is wrong, right? So in my training, whatever concept I will explain you, what are the tips and tricks I give you, what are the thing I will claim that is wrong, and I have the right answer, right? Because my whole and soul motto for this training is the right concepts or right education, right here. So I have a real proof, and till now, guys, almost everybody after going to this proof, they agree on me. Yes, Vimal, what you are saying is 100% right. So even though if you go to my last video, you guys might see hundreds of or lots of different tips and tricks I have shared with you, and I believe you should know this. Okay, and in the first day, guys, also I explain you one thing. Okay, if you really want to know actual concept, it's not about tips or tricks. If you really want to know the actual concept of of any of the basics thing, because I believe everything is a core, and if you really want to know the actual concept, the best resource for us is the creators, the guys and the creators, the technical researchers, the code developer who create this thing. For example, Python is created by Guido van Rossum, right? So he is the creator or the developer or the researcher of this language. Okay, so if you guys ever work on any of the tool, library, technology, somebody has created, and those creators are the one who know real facts. And my learning source mostly, guys, from those guys, from those creator or the developer. Okay, but guys, you know what I'm talking about here is Okay, again, I'm explaining the same thing, and the first day I told you this part, but my announcement is somehow related to this point, right? So my point over here is, if, because I've seen lots of student, most of them we never see this dream, right? As a student, or maybe as a professional, we never see see the dream that in our career we'll get a chance to meet the creators of the technologies. For example, if you heard about Linux has been created by Linux Torvald. So maybe you guys working in some of the great company of a great position or great title, but you never normally imagine that you get a chance to meet with this guy or XYZ other creator of the other technology, right? We never see this because normally we want some kind of great links and get path to spend our time with this kind of creators. The list overall is just one example here, right? But for the student it is impossible, it is very impossible that they will get a chance to meet these guys and to learn from them and to get a great connection from this tribe, right? So guys, you know what we have done under the IIAC community. Under the IIAC community, what we have done, so I think last 3 or 4 year ago, right, 4 year ago, right, we have created a one platform. So 4 year ago, guys, we have created one platform, and you know what we have done, right? Especially in some of we are creating some of the communities under under our community of especially the student communities, and from this community we'll select some student. We have some criteria. I will explain you about the criteria in maybe in upcoming classes. So we'll select some students, and from these student guys, we will give a platform. And we know what they do, right? Normally, guys, in around the world right now, in the because of this current COVID situation, everything is locked down. But normally, around the world, there are a lot of events, conference going on, right? And a lot of very high end conference where normally these creators or researchers are normally the part of those conferences, right? So maybe in London, maybe in US, maybe in Japan, Tokyo, Sydney, maybe. Okay, so what we do, guys, we sponsor these students. Okay, we provide a complete 100% sponsorship to some of the student, and then we invest on this student, right? We from tickets to flight tickets to visa process to hotel accommodation, the food, the conference passes, and the most important thing is we provide the link so that they can meet with the creators of the technologies. And you know, it's the first time we are doing, from around, I think from last 3 or 4 year we are keep on doing this thing, because I believe if we want our engineers to be creators and they will do something new, right? The most important thing is they need a confidence, and I believe the great confidence they always get for if they really get a chance to meet with the creator, and after meet the creator, right, maybe the meeting maybe 5 or 10 minutes or maybe half an hour or maybe 1 hour, but the confidence they achieve after meet with the creator, the knowledge they achieve after meet the creator, it would be phenomenal, right? There's no nothing great nothing nothing would be great about this, right? So I've seen, guys, great universities, great colleges, great company, nobody normally give this this path or the or the platform for the student or for the working professional. They give the platform where a student will go and meet with the creator. So everything, guys, we spend, we don't ask any amount from you. It is 100% free or 100% we sponsor, and we keep on doing, guys. Some of the photograph I just want to share you very quickly. Okay, for example, and if you see, guys, by chance this is me, and when I got when I create one of the world record, so the director of Red Hat has awarded me. There's a different point, but for example, if you talk about this guy, so this is a student, just was, I think, 2 or 3 year back. This student was just in second year. This is his student name is Kapil. Just in second year from some of the engineering college. Okay, and we get a we sponsor these guys to the some of the international summit. I believe, I think Tokyo, Japan, and we sponsor 100%, right? And here this guy's got a great chance to meet with the great leaders, great technocrats, great developer, researcher, And by the way, guys, I don't know you know this face or not. This guy is a Linux Torvald. He's the one who has a creator of the technology, or he's a creator of the Linux core kernel or Linux operating system, you can say, right? So, but he got a chance to meet, and he spent some minutes with them. Okay, so this is one of the memory we have. Otherwise, if you talk about this guy, we sent this guy this guy to London and Edinburgh in some of the great conference. I think last year we sent to this guy. I think 2019, right? We sent to this guy. So we keep on sending to multiple cities and location in the countries, right? And especially we create this platform for the student, because I believe they are our future, right? They are future. Only only knowledge won't help you. Giving this kind of link, giving this kind of approach, this kind of path, it helps them. And guys, this is normally we do art for our internal communities. What is our internal communities, we might discuss in the future if we need. But because of this great response from this particular campaign of 40,000 plus students registered for in this campaign of IAC, right, in this Python, so we thought, my management thought, let's extend this particular initiative for IAC Rise Python students also. So that's what, guys, I would like to announce you, and this is my one of the great announcement for you. Even though lots of announcement I keep announcing almost every day in this training, but again I'm repeating, guys, it's 100% sponsored by IAC community. There will be no hidden charge. Lot of my older students who already connected with me, they know this part, but for especially for the new guys who are very new and first time connecting with us, just wanted to tell you everything. Everything we sponsor, from flight ticket to hotel to food, everything we will, and we also provide a link to meet with the creators, right? So but we have some criteria, obviously. From these students we will select some student in the future. It is a long training altogether, guys, so in upcoming class I will tell you the criteria. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. So guys, in between, sometime you might see in this live training, you might see some 2 or 3 seconds of mute from my side. I mute myself because I have some cough and cold from some last couple of weeks, so I don't want to disturb you. So rather than I do cough. So I'll mute for a second and then I come back again. So I don't want to disturb you. So that's the reason you might see some second or 2 or 3 seconds of some time in between mute from my side, right? Okay, so guys, we'll see. I'll discuss you the criteria for my selection. But one of the main criteria you can think as a summary is the sharing, right, or the responsibility, right? Because for me it is a very big term. Okay, because what is meaning of this, I don't want to invest the further time in today's training, but in upcoming class I will talk more about what I mean by sharing and the responsibility. So the student who help each other, the student who motivate each other, who take other responsibility, they are always the great student, right? And they they will grow like anything in the future. I've seen, I've almost meet almost all the main creator in this technological world. The common thing in the creator I've seen, they have a great sharing in nature. They always take the responsibilities of somebody or something, right? What I mean by actual meaning of sharing responsibility, I will talk about in my upcoming class. But this is one of the criteria I we always use to select the student for further benefits, right? So that's so, guys, one announcement from my side. Again, guys, in the IIC, guys, huge plan we have, because for me this is a huge, very important training. And one more thing I would like to tell you, I think my last training also I've told you, in this, after the completion of this training, we are going to build some real projects. Or maybe there might be possibility project might be so real world, right? Maybe we'll take your project to the next level. Maybe we'll showcase your project to the industries, or maybe we'll take the project to the real communities where they will take your project and take you also to the next level, right? So we'll give this path to you also, right? None of assess the communities or universities provide this path. And one more thing, guys, and during this training I also keep on, guys, guiding you about the interview question. Maybe a lot of students over here planning for go for a job, so we also keep on talking about some interview questions, especially related to programming or especially related to the Python. So tons of things, guys, we have in this training, and it is again completely for the community, right? Okay, so that's all for today, guys. This is one great announcement for you guys. So let's guys continue with the today's main topic, right? Again, guys, a lot of plan I have, technical plan, but I would like to start the thing from very zero. There is no prerequisite for this training, guys. I told you in my last class also, right? So let's come to our main topic. So before, guys, I'll go for the topic. What I am going to show you today, guys. Okay, I believe everybody know Google Assistant, and I believe everybody know Alexa, Amazon Alexa. Okay, so what we do, guys, it is controlled by sound. Okay, so you tell Alexa, hey Alexa, or hi Alexa, can you play this song for me? Or you take to Google and hi, hey Google, can you please call this number? Okay, so these are the programs or the app we have. Okay, this is the program, or we have some kind of app we have. Okay, but guys, there is no as such program available for the technological world. Okay, we for example, let's say we have one app. Let's say the app is called IIAC. So there's no as such app available where we can say, hey IIAC, can you please run the date command for you? Hey IIAC, can you please host this website for me? Or I say this particular app. Let's say the app is called IIC, and say, hey IIC, can you please do one thing? Go to all the server we have and restart server, patch the server, reboot the server, set up something for me, set up database for me, set up Python for me, right? Write the Python code for me, something like this. Okay, so as such, we don't have pure famous technical product available in market. Some product that you can give any name, because if you create this product, they can give your name. For example, if I create this product, I can give my name. I can say, hey Vimal, can you please go to my Windows, open the command prompt, and after open the command prompt, it'll please So so guys, I believe there's some minute of disruption. I think my voice was not coming. I think it now is coming. So I don't know which part you missed, but let me again explain you. So guys, I don't know which part you missed. Guys, can you hold for a second, please? Let me talk to my team. Okay. So I think I forgot to unmute myself, but there's no so much thing you can guys have missed. So nothing you miss because I've used some shortcut here. Maybe I press some shortcut over here, right? But nothing you miss. So I believe, guys, you got the high level idea. So my overall plan, guys, to create our own technical assistant that is a voice control. So I'll speak from my mic and say, "Hey Alexa," or I can say, "Hey Vimal." My this is because this is my app, so I can give my own name. So I say, "Hey Vimal, can you please set up Python for me?" Or "Hey Vimal, can you please go to cloud computing and set up something for me?" Or "Hey, can you please go and set up the database for me?" So we are going to create some real project, right? And I think it takes some 3 to 4 days to complete it. So we are going to start this journey, and I believe this is the best way to learn, because if we know our final goal, what we would like to do, we know our requirement, our use case, what we would like to do, we like to do, learning would be always fun. And logically we understood whatever we are learning, we know where this concept will fit, we know where the list fit, we know where the error fit, because we know our requirement is okay. So this, guys, that's a very high level overview, but in upcoming of 3 or 4 days you will see, you would be I'm not asking to you guys to read the complete program. In this coming this 3 or 4 days, you will see you would be in the different level of the way you think, and the way the approach we guys are going to use, right? So our journey and the approach you can see in the very different level, right? So let's start my plan. Let's start the Python from very zero, right? Final requirement, again I'm repeating, my final requirement is I would like to build my voice based control program that will control my entire technical journey, something like this. That's what we would have to do, and some of the part you will see we build today. Some of the part we build tomorrow. Okay, so let me start the thing from very zero. So guys, from last class we have discussed some of the basics of the Python. Let me add some more new basics in the Python journey. Let me add some more new basics. Okay, so let me start in this way. If Python, guys, is a programming language, I told you already, and if you want to do with this language, you have to create a code. And if you create a code, you normally put the code in a file, and you guys know this is known as a program file. And if you want to run this program, that is the only way to run this program. S is the only way to run this program, is to run this program on the top of the operating system. It will be Windows or Linux, whatever you want. Okay, so if you have some operating system with you, let's say Windows, so you can put the code here and run and execute the code here. That part again you guys know. Okay, why I'm again explaining you to, because to give you further essence what exactly we are going to do next. Okay, so in the code, right, whatever you write in the code, you always will do for you. So OS is the one who will doing something for you, but from your code you are instructing the OS what you want. For example, your OS has one sound card, one speaker. So from the code will tell you OS, hey OS, can you do one thing, can you please please play this sound. So in the first day I explain you one function for this. So if you want, your code will tell your OS and to connect with the speaker. So for connecting with the speaker and play something as audio output, we use speak as a function. Or you want your OS will use your screen, your black screen is called CLI, and print something for you. So we use a print function. Okay, so typically guys, in the programming world, right, if you want your OS will do something for you, because OS the one who always do something for you, you have to tell the OS. And how OS understand? By the help of the functions. The function is the one who will tell, through which we as a developer tell to our operating system what exactly we want you to perform. For example, there's one great example. For example, if you want, as a developer, you want to write a code, and using the code you will instruct the OS and ask the OS, can you do one thing? There is a one WhatsApp number, can you please WhatsApp this data to this number? So again, if you want to do a WhatsApp, and then maybe there might be one function available for the WhatsApp. Okay, or maybe in the code you say you write a code, and from the code you will tell your OS, can you do one thing for me? Can you run this program file? Can you run this code? In this code, I have instructed you with the help of function, and I want you perform something for you. I want you perform some function for me, and what I want, please go and send one text SMS or some SMS to this mobile number. Or I want, can you please send email to email ID? So guys, you know what the great thing about Python is, because working on the Python is so simple, even though we have even haven't access properly started the Python, but you will see in them on 1 or 2 days, it's so simple, right? Writing the code of email, writing the code of SMS, writing the code of WhatsApp is so simple in the Python. So guys, I have one homework for you. I want you just try by yourself. Maybe you guys might know so much about Python, but I want, please go and try by yourself. So there's one small task or the homework from my side. Even though guys, in my upcoming class, maybe tomorrow or in the next class, I'll show you how to write the code, and using the Python code, right, you can send the WhatsApp messages, you can send the SMS, you can send the emails. So I'll show you this code from my side. But even though I suggest if you can try by yourself, because when you try, you search, you'll learn more. The extra thing you will learn, right? So very guys, one simple homework, and I'm putting my homework over here. So in the IIC Rise, I'm putting my homework here very very fastly. So I'll put my homework here after this today's class, and 3 posts I will post here on my LinkedIn also, and I post there. I'll post here, and where I ask to put your code how to do WhatsApp, SMS, and email. And just try it, and anybody who find maybe proper answer or half answer, just try to put your answer, share your knowledge to other guys, and in my upcoming class I will give you the exact answer and the best simple answer you can use in the Python code. But here my main thing, guys, what I would like to explain you here is whatever you want to do in the Python language or any of the programming language, through the function you instruct to the OS what exactly you would like to perform. Okay, so let me start my art journey from here. And for this, I am going to open my command terminal, CMD. Okay, and for example, my requirement is I want my OS will speak something. So I'll from Python Live Interpreter, and for this I am going to use a program called Speak. And in the Speak, I put the string and say hi, hello. So speak function will using the Python language, I am instructing to my OS, and my OS will this function will go to my OS, and this function will ask my OS, please contact to speak and please speak this text for me. You guys, in the first class I told you this part, but again I'm repeating because I would have to create something new here today. Okay, but one more thing, guys, I would like to tell you. Okay, whenever you would like to use any function that is not created by you, so in the upcoming class I will take one class on function where we know some more concept about the function, where we'll create our own function. But this function is not created by us. So if the function is not created by us, then this function will be there in some file, and this is called program file. And I told you guys in the first class, these program file where this function written are typically known as module. So if I if I run this function fail and say I don't this function is not available. So if you want to use this function, first you have to import the module. Okay, and by chance you guys know the module name is pyttsx3. Okay, in the first day I told you guys very quickly. I just want to show available in pyttsx3 module x3. Guys, by the way, guys, here TTS is text to speak. So this is the text we are going to give you. So convert this text into the speak. So TTS is text to speak. Okay, we are going to use here. And I don't know you able to listen my voice from my speaker or not. I don't know, but it will speak from my speaker and it will speak hi, hello. It is something like this. Okay, so this is one small thing. One more thing, small thing I would like to tell you. Module is like a program file, and every program file and every module always come from the software. And the language world, software is known as library. Okay, so because we are learning the Python, and in the Python, if you want to install any software or any library for the Python, typically guys, it is not a library, but you can think as like a software. And if you install the software, they will give the module, and if you have the module, we will get a function. So if I install the library, we can use pip as a command. Right now guys, in my Windows, if I again open my terminal again, and if you want to see how many library I have, you can use pip list command. It will tell you all the library installed in the system. Okay, so in my case guys, you will see there are lots of library available in my system. Okay, let me share my code to you. Okay, and guys, this the code I'm sharing, all of a screenshot I'm sharing about Google Drive, and everybody who is the part of this IAC registered, and it is, if you are part of WhatsApp group, we have already shared the Google Drive link. So all of my document, the code we are keep on posting there, right? Okay, so it will tell you all the library installed in the system. Okay, if you see here the huge list of the library I have, or huge software list, you can see here. Again, but one of the library you can see here is called pytts. So somewhere you might see I don't know where it is, this one. Okay, and how to install? In my last class I told you pip install command, you can install it. But why I have so much library? Even though if you see your system, you will have so much library. Okay, why you have so much library? Because because we install Python from a program called Anaconda. And what is the good thing about the Anaconda? The good thing about Anaconda is one of the distribution of the Python. When I say distribution, means some company has created this product, and they say when you install Anaconda product, we will give you Python interpreter. Okay, Python interpreter plus lots of common Python library that you use a lot. So we'll give you pre-installed library, so you don't have to manually go to internet and download, and you don't have to manually install it. So guys, anybody who have installed Anaconda and install the Python with the Anaconda, so I can say the Python distributor, if you use Anaconda, or you can say Anaconda software you use, you will have Python interpreter plus lot of library. Now I install Anaconda in my system, so I have lots of library here. But one thing I would like to tell you again guys here, in upcoming class where I start touching some of the base concept of data science, or anybody who are belong to data science, okay, you can ask any of the data science guys, they use a lot this kind of library. For example, there's one library called sklearn, or maybe sklearn. Okay, so some kind of library or SkyPy, so they use a lot, and after they use, they always say, now we know how to use this library, we know how to use a function, we know how to install the model. So they say now we are core, this library sklearn I'm talking about. So any of the data science or machine learning guys, they use this library a lot. But 99.9%, even though they say we are very much high technical data scientist guy, but if you ask them, do you know how this library created? Do you know how the model created? Do you know how the code intelligence created? 99.9% say they say we don't know. So again, this is the one of my plan, because my plan is to take you to the creator level. So we go inside this library and some other library also in the future classes, and without using this library or without using the software created by somebody else, because obviously this library is created by somebody else. The guy who created, they are the developer. And if you want to be developer, you should know how to create the library. You should know how to create the model. You should know how to create the functions. And you should know how these functions, whatever they have internally, has been created. So in this upcoming class guys, we will discuss about everything. And again, I'm repeating, we are not going to create only the module. And a lot of guys know this, but we'll create. But my plan is to show you the world famous libraries, how they have been created. So in upcoming class, logically you understood what exactly happening behind the scene, right? Okay, so so guys, so that's a very high level again overview I explain you. So what is my plan today? Some of the basic concept guys I explain you. So my plan here today guys, to show you one more small thing that we might use a lot. Okay, so till now guys, I told you in the three way we are going to use the Python. One as a live interpreter is called REPL. Okay, second way, you can open the file, it's called offline, save the code, run it. I told you in last class I use the term offline. And other way, you can use a IDE. Okay. The good thing about the IDE is, right? For example, if you bad thing about the file is when you write the code, your code never run. You have to save the code, then you have to run. The bad thing about the live interpreter is you when you write the code, it will run. This is a good thing, but but the code never save. I told you in my last class. Okay, but the good thing of IDE is, right, whatever code you write, it will save. Okay, same time you can also run it like a live interpreter, and plus a lot of files you can create and manage it, and some more facility your IDE will give you. IDE is called integrated development environment. So it will give you environment where developers sit and do their developing task. Integrated, and what I mean by integrated, in upcoming class we'll discuss a lot of integration we are going to do, but we'll discuss there. So IDE is a very common tool for the developer where they write the code save there, they run the same page, from the same page they get the output. They don't have to go here and there. Right now, guys, you know, I have to first create a file here. After create the file, I save the file. I can come back to is good is so sometimes it's not so much intuitive, so it is always always good to work on the ID. So guys, again, this is the one concept I explain you. Maybe some second my voice was again on mute, but you haven't missed anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, before we start today's topic, I would like to explain you one of the ID, how to use it. But in the future, guys, we might use some more ID. There's a lot of IDE available. Okay, so one example is Spider, one is Eclipse, one is PyCharm. But right now, guys, the IDE that I'm going to use is called Jupyter. So Jupyter is one IDE that we are going to use today. And because it is a Python IDE, and normally Python IDE is a Python software, and Python software is a Python library. So if you run this command, if you run this command again, right, pip list, if you run this particular command, you come to know there is one software is already installed in your system. That software or that library it is known as Jupyter. Okay, and what is Jupyter? Is a one command or one program that will give you the ID. So if you go up, you might see some name with a J. It's called Jupyter. So guys, in my case, it is already installed. Why? Because I installed Python with the Anaconda. Anaconda will provide this ID. Otherwise, if you're not there, you can install it. You know how to install if you're not there in your system. You can use this command to install it. Jupyter, Jupyter. You can store it, right? So that's what, guys, we are going to do. Okay, so guys, there's one shortcut I created in my in my today's screen live streaming. Why I write my voice mute, right? Just give me 1 minute, let me remove this shortcut because I don't want to some disruption in between. Just give me one of maximum 5 seconds to disable this screenshot, right? So just give me 1 minute. Okay, and very quickly let me disable this shortcut over here because I don't want to unwanted disturb you guys. Okay, so I think now it's been clear, right? So now my voice won't be mute. So okay, so if you want to install the Jupyter, if you install the Python with the Anaconda, you don't have to install. Otherwise, if you install the Python with any other source, I don't know, I don't recommend right now in my training, but I believe use the Anaconda. But if you don't use, you can use this command. It will install the Jupyter software or the Jupyter library for you, right? So that's what you can do here. But in my case, Jupyter also there. So what is Jupyter? I told you Jupyter is the one ID. Okay, what ID will do you after, obviously, when you see this ID, you come to know what this ID do for you. Okay, so I'm going to launch the Jupyter. How to launch? Open the Windows command prompt, or maybe Linux command prompt, or Mac command prompt, and there just run one program called Jupyter Jupyter space notebook. Just run this particular command. Okay, what is notebook? I will explain you in a minute, but you write Jupyter space space the notebook, and when you launch, it will launch a Jupyter IDE for you, and it will open the complete ID in your browser. Okay, in your browser. So they're launching the Jupyter, and almost guys in the upcoming classes, most of the time we work on in the IDE. So almost all the main thing we are going to work on the IDE. So they open the Jupyter in my browser, and the cool thing guys here is right from the browser, from here I can just click and open my new page. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, my plan is to write the code. Now we have three places. Either you can write the code in live interpreter the way we always do, or you can write a code in the file that we have discussed in the last class. But from today almost all the code we are going to write in our IDE. The IDE name is called Jupyter. Okay, and because you would like to write the code, for writing the code you have to open a new file. And in the Jupyter, the file where you write your code, that file is normally known as notebook. And that is the reason guys we have used this keyword here called notebook. I asked Jupyter, please can you launch the notebook for me. Okay, this page they open, and here you have to create one file where you write the code. And if you want to create the file, and in the top right corner you can see one new option here, and the new option, they give you option here, you want to run your code in the Python 3, because in my laptop I have only Python 3 installed, so they give the name here. So I say yes, I want, please can you create one file for me for the Python 3. Okay, so if you notice here, they will they will open one well, let me share your screenshot. So I'm guys sharing every screenshot so you won't miss anything. So let me again create 1 minute. Okay. Let me go to some of the folder. Let me go to my desktop first. Okay, in the desktop I am going to create a lost Python. I don't know why it's not working. I have to update. Okay, 1 minute guys. Text file. Okay, I don't know if it's not working here. 1 minute guys, please. Okay, it's been created. I don't know why it's not working. But when you click guys, maybe guys in my system, maybe I have multiple versions, I keep on testing. Okay, so in your in your system, when you create, it automatically open a new page, and when you open the new page, it will open and create a new notebook. Okay, very quickly let me try one more time. It should create. There's no challenge normally come up, but normally I keep on changing the version. Jupyter notebook. Okay. Yeah, so it's great. I don't know why this time not created. So as soon as you click there in the Python, it will create a new page for you, and this page is called a notebook. The good thing about this notebook guys here is it work like a real REPL. I told you what is REPL guys. So here you can do a live programming like you do in the REPL. For example, I can write here, can you print hi for me? Okay, I have to write, there's top option here in the top, run, click. When you write the code, and the real time your output come up. So like a live interpreter. Okay, I can say x equal to 5, click run for me. I want, please can you print a value of x, they print for me. Okay, so it's like a live Python interpreter. But the good thing is, whatever code you write, you can save it. Just give some name. For example, let me say this is my IIC Python basic, just for example, right? Let's give some name, file name. Maybe my spelling might be wrong over here, and save it. So whatever type, it saves. Just click here, save it. And when you close, there's option called close. Again, it will save, right? And again, you just again come here, come here, and just click again. Same code come up. Okay. So so in the same page, we write the code, you save the code, you run the code, and some more thing we will do here in the future. And that is the reason normally we say Jupyter is the IDE. Okay, we have some more advanced IDE, but we will use. But initial for basic learning, this IDE is more than enough for initial days, right? Okay, that's what we can do. And some shortcut I would like to tell you guys here. For example, if you this box here, okay, this box over here, guys. Let me draw here. So where you write your code, this particular box. So this code where you type your code, normally here in all the cell. So we have to write your code in a cell, and we can run one cell at a time. You can't run both the cell in the one single go, right? At one point in time, you can only run or execute one cell. And if you want to run, either you can click here, but as a normal developer, right, every time you write something, y equals to, or say 5 plus 2, you always go here, run. It is again sometimes very much tedious. So we have shortcut here. If your mouse is already selected in this particular cell here, and you want to run this particular cell, then you can use one shortcut called Shift Enter. So if you press Shift key plus Enter key together, it will run for you. So it will run automatic this cell for you, and it will open a new cell for you. For example, I want to run this cell again. I can go here and I can press Shift Enter. So it will run this cell and automatically go to next cell. Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, like this. Okay. So as one shortcut, like this, we have tons of shortcuts. We we keep on discussing. For example, if you don't need this cell, okay, if you don't need this cell, if you want to delete this cell, just first press Escape key, then press DD 2 times. This cell will delete. Again, press DD 2 times, cell will delete. Okay, so these are some small shortcuts. Sometimes is handy. So first you have to press Escape to to remove the focus from the cell, from the mouse, and then press DD. It will delete the cell. Okay, for example, right now my mouse is here. First this is called focus, and unfocus means press Escape, then press DD. It will delete. DD, it will delete. So some of the shortcut guys we use very frequently, but you want to see all the shortcut that we use a lot, just go to help, and here in the keyboard shortcut you can get all the shortcuts that we normally use. Okay, so this is normally, for example, Shift Enter and all the things we can check here if you want some more shortcuts, right? Okay, so guys, finally let's come to our main topic. So this is the ID. So good thing is from this ID I will set over here. I don't have to now go to my command line. I don't need this command line. I don't need to open any file. I don't need any text editor. Everything I would like to do from here. Okay, from the ID called Jupyter. Okay, Jupyter is not only the ID. There is some more advanced ID, but it's a very simple, clean, very simple to use. Especially in the data science world, we use a lot. This training is not purely on the data science, but almost all the things, whatever we do in the future, most of the things we can do from here. Okay, so let me start some basics here. Okay, so one more thing guys, I would like to revise here for you. Okay, I would like to revise here, that is for example, if you want, as a developer, if you want your code will go to your OS, your operating system, and ask the OS, can you please run some command for me? So all the command, when I say command, OS programs. So the program that is installed on the OS are also known as command. For example, I told you in my last class, okay, for example, Chrome is one of the program, and Chrome is one software actually. This software give you Chrome program, and Chrome program you can use the term called command. So Chrome is one command. Okay, so they launch for me. So if you want, your Python will go to OS and run and launch the program. Then I told you in my last class, we can use system as a function. I would like to do one more time very quickly because I want to show you some more small thing here. So for this, you have to first import the module, and in this module, right, we can use system function. And guys, one more thing about the good thing about IDE, OS is a one module or one program file. And in this module guys, if you want to see how many functions available, you can use dir. I told you in my last class, it will list all the function available in OS. So long list guys, and here you can just go down, you can see the one function available that we are going to use right now. It's called system function. So this function we are going to use, right? Okay, but because you are using the IDE, okay, so let me go to next cell. Because you are using IDE, so in IDE guys, you don't have to use dir. I can use OS dot if I press tab, right, if I press tab 2 times, right, it will show you all the function available. For example, I might forget my function name, so I say SI remember, or SY I remember. If I press tab, it give you all the function available with this name. So you don't have to remember, right? Because as a developer, nobody tests your skill that how many functions you know. Nobody check this skill. If somebody testing your skill with how many options you know, function you know, or syntax you know, it means that that guy is not at all technical guy, and they don't know how to check the real engineers. Okay, so if you're a real engineer, you should be conceptually clear. You should know approach. You should know the path you have to follow. Okay, you don't have to remember the function in the path. Okay. Okay, so OS is a function, and all the OS is a module, and in this function you can use tab. I'm talking here, tab is a key. So you can press tab key 2 times. It's called auto completion, and it will automatically show you. And this is the function we are going to use, and you guys know this function used. So if I run Chrome command, so it will run the Chrome command for me. So the browser open. Okay, and if you want to run instead of the Chrome command, if you want to run Notepad as a command, so whatever the OS command available, you can run it. In the last class I told you. So you one Notepad, if you see here, they will launch to you. Okay, let me do one more program here. So in my Windows, I have window media player. I have this window media player in my laptop. I want my program will go and launch this media player for me. They launch this media for me. But guys, if you want to launch any base OS level program, okay, maybe in my Windows, or maybe in my Mac or my Linux, your operating system, right? Maybe you are in your operating system, you have VLC player, or maybe you have M player, or maybe you have other software installed. So if you want your Python program, or maybe any other language, right, will go and launch this program for you. Okay, then it won't help. Guys, it won't be possible if you just know how to search in the browser or in the Google and click here to launch. Okay, this way it won't work. Okay, because your program internally don't know how to search here and how to click use the mouse. Because I told you guys in my last classes, if you want to interact with any operating system, normally you have a two-way. One, you can use your mouse. This is called GUI, graphical user interface, right? For example, this is my mouse. I click here, it open this Explorer for me. This is called GUI, graphical user interface. And another way is called CLI, command line interface, right? Where where you should know the command. For example, for running the command, I open the CMD, and because I know the Chrome command, so without using the mouse or with the GUI, I can launch the Chrome. This part you guys might know, I think in the last class. Very basically, I've discussed there. Okay, so if you want any program language, maybe Python, and you want Python will interact with the OS and run the OS commands, then only the possible way is Python should know Python should know their respective commands. Okay, Python, for example, if you talk about window media player, okay, you know how to open it. But if you want Python open this guy, all right, so Python won't go here and click and open it for you. It won't work in this. If your final requirement is you want to open this, because you want to open this, and who to whom you want it, who open this, Python Python is the one who open this, right? Then you have to provide the internal commands. Internal commands. Okay, so for example, by chance I know the command for a window media player is called WM player. By chance I know the command. Okay, so you do give this command to the Python to launch it. And how to give the Python, you guys know. You guys know. So I'll use the same function here. I say OS. I would like to run some my OS level commands that is available in my base system where my Python is running, and the program name is called WM player. So let me see, guys, it is working or not. So guys, when I run, it fail. How I know it fail? Because whenever you run the command, if they give you output 0, here 0 means successful. The command, whatever you run, was successful. There is no error. But if any other number come up apart from 0, maybe 1 or maybe another number, it means this command fail. Why is fail? Maybe because of 2 or 3 reasons. Maybe my command is wrong. Maybe this software is not installed in my Windows, or maybe there might be other reason also. Okay, so let's confirm, guys, this command is right or not. And best way to confirm is I open my Windows command prompt. Okay, and here I'll type wm player. Just wanted to confirm that this command is right or not, or is available or not. Okay, so we click here, guys. This system Windows say no, sir, guys. This command is not recognized. Okay, might be I write the wrong. Let me try window media player. Maybe might be two version they have. Again, it is wrong. Okay, so it doesn't means it doesn't mean this command is not available, because I'm pretty sure in my Windows I have window media player. I have window media player. So I'm sure I have window media player, and by searching the Google somewhere, I come to know this command available. Even the way, one more way to confirm that this command, what is the command of window media player? So how can you confirm, guys? For example, if you search here window media player, and right here, if you do right click, and after right click, if you click on the open file location, it will tell you where the window media player where is the window media player installed. So let me share, guys, this screenshot also with you. Okay, now I'm trying to tell you approach, right? Why guys, I'm taking this example because my plan is, guys, right now I'm asking my Python manually. Okay, I'm asking Python, please open Notepad. I'm asking Python, please open Chrome browser. I'm asking Python to do this thing for me. Okay, but after some time, guys, I won't ask my system, I won't run this code. I will speak as a Google Assistant, as a Alexa, and I speak, hey Windows, can you please open the Chrome for you? Or Windows, can you please open the Notepad for me? Or Windows, can you please open the Notepad and write some Python code or PHP code or Ruby code or some language code and run for me? Something like this. So I will speak as an assistant and they will do for me. It's very interesting project. Okay, it's one of the project we are going to build in this training, but it's very much powerful. If you take to the next level, very great new initiative you guys can launch for the market, right? Okay, so that's what my plan, guys. That is the reason I'm just trying to explain you, because in your system there might be hundreds of commands. Okay, and you want Python will launch that command, you should know the internal commands for this. Okay, you know the Chrome command, you know the Notepad command. So I'll ask my Python to launch Chrome. But if you don't know the Windows media player command, obviously with the Python, how can you tell to Python which how to launch the window media player? So that's what I'm trying to give you the approach. So if you want to find the window media player command, either you search in the Google and ask Windows Google, can you tell me the command for window media player? Or other approach would be, you can just come here in a GUI, right click and open the file location. It will take you to the location where this software has been installed. So right now, guys, they take me to this folder, and you can see a program called window media player. Again, guys, this is not the real program, because this is shortcut here, this shortcut here. So if you really want to find the real program, this is not, this shortcut normally we create in in our operating system. Again, do right click, and if you go to properties, okay, here you come to know, right, this program is is there in the program file folder and window media program. So guys, if you know about Windows, in the Windows we have C drive, inside of C drive we have this folder, and inside you will find this folder. So this will give me the approach, right, how you find the new commands. Because maybe in your system you have VLC player, maybe in the system you have other Skype, maybe. All right, so now we know. So they say you can find this command in the C drive. In the C drive, go to this particular folder. In this particular folder you can find window media player as a folder. And in the window media player you can find a program called wm player. And get this application means this program file means it is a command. So typically, guys, whatever I know was absolutely correct. This command is there in the system, but it's not running. And why is not running, guys? The same issue what I showed in my last class of Chrome. We know this command is available in this folder. My Windows doesn't know, my Windows command prompt doesn't know, my Python doesn't know. Okay, so my Windows command prompt doesn't know. For this, what you have to do, wherever your command is available or program is available, take this particular folder, this is called path, copy it. Maybe in your system this might be the location. Copy it and set the environment available. I told you my last class also. So just go to env, search for environment variable, env. Let me share everything, every screen here. Okay, just go to env. Okay, and set your path. You guys know, just click on the environmental variable and here in the path, don't delete, just edit this, right? Just go to path and edit this, right? So so edit. So all the command wherever they're located, wherever you want, Python will run for you. Just find their location and add here, and just add here. So just click on the new and add here. What to add? You have to add this location, this folder. So click new and add this. So what is the help? What is the use of environmental variable? It is set in the path. Means now whenever you want to run any command, either manually by yourself from CMD or Python will run for you. They always contact to this location. They always refer to this location. And now if I again try to run the WM player, you will see what happened this time. Again fail. Why? Because guys, you set the path, and after set the path, you have to close the terminal and again open it to reload the path. Now if you run the WM player, okay, it will run for you. See here, and now working good. Now because command is working, command is available in the command prompt, and command is my Windows OS system command. So same command that is available in the Windows or in the Linux or in the Linux or in the Mac, same command you can call from the Python. So I just go here and ask them, now can you launch a window media player? So guys, I am into Python, and from the Python I am launching a window media player. Okay, click. Okay, so they will launch for me. So 1 minute. So I have to reload, maybe. Most probably it shouldn't be. Let me again reload, but yeah. So they launch the browser, they launch the notepad, and let's see. Now guys, again they are failing. WM player, I am right, WM player, they're failing. Why they're failing? I also guys notice, guys, some of the program from the Jupyter guys is a developer tool, right? We don't give this tool to our customers. Okay, we use this tool for our requirement. So I've seen some of the tool fail in the Jupyter, but yeah, if you try this thing from a command line. Okay, so let me open my command line and import OS, and from the over here, if I try to open run WM player to just confirm, is run for us, right? So there's no issue in the Python. Okay, so I don't say this is the bug or issue in the Python working their thing, zero come up successful, but some of the ID doesn't support some of the thing of a base OS. Okay, but doesn't matter, guys, because we never give the ID to the client or my final user. We give the code. So we'll pack this code in one file and we'll share the code in the file, and file always run. There's no challenge come up. So don't worry, guys. Some of the program it's a good example here, because maybe you guys might also try some program in the ID in Jupyter, and you might see some of the program might not working. Doesn't matter, guys. You can test the program from the command line, or you can test the program from from your file also. Okay, so guys, this is one small thing, but my main approach was here is not this part. My approach was, if you want to build a program where I can talk my program to the Python and say, Python, can you please launch a window media player? If Python doesn't know the command, how they launch? If Python doesn't know the notepad, how they launch? Like for example, Alexa doesn't know here they have to play the song from Sawan app or other audio or video player apps, right? How obviously Alexa won't work, and Google Assistant doesn't know from where to search, that to use Google API or Google Map or Google Google GPS location coordinates. Obviously, how they work, right? So a program know where to search, where to find which command to run. Internal they should know, but as a user and final user perspective, we don't have to know the program. I will tell my program, can you please launch a text editor for me? Okay, program, can you launch a web browser for me? So they will contact the Chrome program and they launch for me, something like this. So we'll do this kind of program today maybe. Okay, but this is very high level discussion I have explained you. One more small thing, just to just give you the idea. I don't want you guys to be confused. So guys, Jupyter or any ID, lots of IDs there. For example, one of the main ID we use a lot in the Python world is called PyCharm, or maybe you might use sometimes we use the ID called Visual Studio Code. Maybe we might use this, or maybe you might use Jupyter. Right now we are using Jupyter. Multiple IDs we have, look and feel maybe different, but code is exactly same. But some of the IDs, some of the code might not work. For example, this is the one exception here, might not work. Okay, but guys, these ID is a program for the developer, and developer is writing code. Okay, code we are writing here, running here, testing here, getting the output from here. Finally, guys, the code we save in one file. Okay, and this file we send to our customers. Customer are never interested on our IDs. This is our helper tools. They help us. Customers are interested on the final code, final program file. Or typically this program file, if you plug together multiple file, it becomes a software, or normally in our world it is known as apps. Right? So customer interested in the app, they want to use our app. Okay, so finally we have to share a code in the file. So it means, so for learning or for testing you can use ID, but finally after the code will tested, you can put all the code in one file, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to create one simple file here, and for creating the file, again I'll open my new terminal. Okay, and guys, again in this training, guys, because we are going to create lots of code, lots of projects, maybe a lot of different different tasks and the tips. Okay, so there is a reason I recommend to create one separate folder. Let's say I'm going to create a folder called IIEC underscore Python underscore code folder. So one folder I am going to create, and I put all of my program file here, all of my projects here. Okay, why? Just to manage, right? Nothing special. But the folder where you putting all the files or the program file of the Python, okay, that folder sometimes is known as workspace. So I am going to create one separate workspace, and in the future all the code whatever I going to create from Jupyter also, or whatever code I'm going to create from my command line also, I'm going to put there. So what I'm going to do, so I'll go to my desktop. I can use cd command, or you can directly go to desktop here. That would be your choice. This is my desktop, and here in the desktop, guys, I'm going to create one new folder here. Okay, or you can use the create a folder from in this way, or I normally like command. I'm using a command called make directory, and going to create a folder called IAC Python code. It's just a folder name, and maybe somewhere you can see somewhere here my desktop is very messy. Somewhere here, maybe back side, you can see this folder is created here. This folder is created somewhere in the back, maybe. Okay, this folder created here. So this folder is created here, and right now this folder is empty. Nothing is there. Okay, and folder, guys, is also by chance known as a directory. That is in command is called dir, make directory. And let me go to this folder. I can use cd command to go. Either you can use the command to go in, or you can use double click to go in. That would be your choice. Okay, so I'm not using any GUI. I'm using command. That makes very basic command, nothing fancy. But maybe a lot of guys may be new in the technological world. Okay, so that's the reason I was just trying to explain you how to do same thing GUI. And right now, if you go to this folder, this is empty, nothing is there. Same thing you can check from the command line. Because I'm in the Windows, I can use dir command. If you're using Mac or Linux, you can use ls command to list. Nothing is there. So let me create a new file. I'm using Notepad and using the the creating file called, let's say, my app. I can give any name, my software. But because this is a Python file, it's good practice. It's not hard, hard coded or not compulsory. But it's good practice for some reason to give the extension .py. Enter, save, and save. So I create the file from the command line, but you see internally the file created. Okay, so I use the rather than I use the GUI, I am going to use this command line way. Okay, but I'm sharing every command to you, so you won't miss anything. So finally, guys, this file created. So my my plan, guys, is to write the code here. So why I'm creating the code here in this file? I can create the code in my live interpreter, but my code doesn't save. I can create the code in my Jupyter. Code save, I can run the output, but I can't share this code to my client. For example, after I create my application or my software, and I would like to share to you. You are my customer, or you want to. I want you use. You can't use this code. This is for testing and running and writing the code. We want to test, share your code. Only way and the right way is to put in one file. and this is my file. So again, same thing I'm doing very quickly. I would like to import pytts. It will speak something for me, and pytts x3. I ask please run speak function, and I want please can you speak and can you please welcome to me, welcome to my application or my tool. So this will tool when I run this code. Okay, when I run this code, this will speak this part. Then I would like to import my OS, and when I run my system, it will run, for example, let's say Chrome for me, or let's say let me launch Window Media Player. Okay, Window Media Player by chance is not working here. There are a lot of reasons, maybe in the upcoming class we'll discuss. Okay, but it will run normally in this file, and this is the file actually client are interested on. Okay, so guys, depend guys which function you want to use. Every function normally come in modules. This is the module, and guys, it's always good practice to import all the module in the top. Okay, in the upcoming class, when I go for more deep dive in the module, I will explain more about the module, and we also create our own module from the very basics. So two guys code I have written here, and but I told you in my last class also, we can use one more function here. Let's say input function. In my last class I talked about. In input function we can tell enter your choice of program, which program you want to launch. Okay, and whatever you input, you can store in one variable. Let's say p as a variable, or you can instead of the fixed name, you can print here. So this is a similar kind of code in my last class also we have done. Okay, so let me run this code, because this is an offline kind of program. But the good thing is this program code I can share with you, and same program if you run, it will run for you, right? So it is like a program file or multiple program file we can create, and it will become our final app. So we'll see in upcoming class, right? But it's a very simple program we have created. Okay, every keyword I explained to you already, and if you want to run, you guys know. Okay, so in this particular folder I have this program file, and I told you guys in my last class also, whenever save any file from your text editor, it will give this extension unwanted. Okay, so I recommend always save the file with the double quotes or single quotes, otherwise they will add .txt in the last. Okay, and I'm putting this thing into desktop, and desktop the folder name I created is called IIAC. Where is IIAC? So my system is always very messy. IIAC Python code. So let me save here. Okay, so now I can see that isn't, guys, I don't like sometimes GUI because the GUI guy is very harder to see the Intel extension, right? So here I can check now my file is proper, and now if I want to run, you guys know how to run. In last class we discussed this part, right? So when I run this, maybe guys, if my audio from my laptop is in shareable mode, you will see my audio audio of this speak. And then they ask me which program you want to launch. I say Window Media Player. They launch for me. So I want this program to be launched. But right now, guys, here I am writing this program name. But our goal is not this one. Our goal is I don't want to write anything here from my keyboard. I want this program will interact with it. And I want this program after the interact, and this program ask me, and I will ask like we speak to Alexa, or we speak to Google Assistant, something like that. I will say, system, can you please launch the default Window Media Player, or system, can you please launch Window Media Player for me? So my system will understand the way I speak, and they will they will launch for me. That is one of the goal, and maybe in some advanced projects we use this idea somewhere. Okay, or maybe guys, the task I have given to you. Okay, so maybe I given you one task today to write a Python code or find some Python code who will contact WhatsApp and SMS. So I can ask my Python, I will speak and say, Python, can you please do one thing? Can you please WhatsApp this message to this number? Something like this we might create. Okay, so and we are ourselves create, right? We don't want to use some app. We will create from ourselves. And let's see this program is working or not. So I hit enter, and you can see this program is working good. There's no challenge in the Python. Good, right? And this exit. And if I run again, can you please launch Chrome for me? So they launch Chrome for me. So whatever program name you can launch. But the only challenge, guys, here is because we created the software, or because we created this software, okay, so we know which program name we used. We know we know the, because we are technical guys, maybe till now you most of guys might don't know the command name for WM player. Or let's say maybe you let's say we are the technical guy, we know the name of the commands for window media player, WM player, Chrome, Notepad, we know this part. But the guys and the final guys or final users who use my product, obviously if you don't expect better, they know the command name, right? Obviously it will like this, when you ask them to double click or maybe run, obviously they won't run in this way. I will give you a program in such a way, they will do double click, and after they do the double click, okay, the program launch. But if you ask them, please can you tell a program name, obviously they might don't know the command name, so this is not good practice. So rather than, guys, I ask them to type the name, what can we do? We can create one small sweet menu, and we can ask them, press 1 if you want to launch window media player, press 2 if you want to launch Notepad text editor. So some basic menu we can create where they type 1, 2, 3, and internally we will run this code. That's what we can create there here. But right now I'm going to create this particular menu here, but in the future we will convert this menu that will control by the mic. When we speak, they will do something for me. So how to create the menu? Again, is very straightforward. Okay, very straightforward, nothing fancy. So I'll create this program. Okay, and this program, guys, what I want, guys, before you ask enter your choice, I'm going to print, because whatever, guys, you want to display to the screen, you have to print and say press 1 to open Chrome browser, for example. Okay, this one, and that's all. So, guys, this is the one string, guys. You guys know in string we always write in single quote or in the double quote. And in Python, I told you there's no difference between the single quote and the double quote. In some languages, the single quote and double quote has a different meaning, but in Python there is no difference between single quote or the double quote. You can use anything or whatever you feel like. So let me write one more, right? So I asked them, press 2 if you want to open Notepad text editor. Okay, and press 3 if you want to open your media player. So depend, guys, what exactly you want, ask them to do. Okay, so now how program look like, because you print 3 times, so 3 lines they print for you. Okay, so let me run again. So again, because I asked PYTTS to speak, they speak and they print 3 lines for me. And here they ask the choice. Okay, now here I don't want to write my my program name WM player. Okay, I would like to give the choice 1, 2, 3. But I don't know the program for media player is a WM player. But I can read this English here, right? I can read the English here. To open the media player, I can press 3. And when I press 3, I want my media player will open. But guys, it failed because I haven't read my program properly. Because when I type 3 here, according to this program, this 3 go to P, and I ask my system to run the P. And guys, in my system, there is no command like 3, obviously it failed. They say there is no command like 3. Okay, but here, guys, I don't have to pass the number. I have to pass, if somebody type 3, I will have to pass WM player. If somebody pass 1, I have to pass a Notepad. So technically, guys, in this code, we have to add some more thing. Before I add some more thing, I would like to clean some of my this look and feel. Okay, right now, guys, it look very, very messy here. Okay, all the 3 line come in this continuous. So what I would like to give some new line here, some new line afterwards. Okay, so how to give the new line? If guys, anybody who work in any programming language, they might know. But if you talk about Python, okay, for example, in the Python, if you type anything, welcome to IC Python, for example. So guys, when you type anything, it is string. But what I want, guys, after welcome to, I would like print will give one new line. And guys, if you want to give the new line, Okay, so what technically you have to do, I want again I'm speaking very basic here, just for those guys who are very new in any programming language. Okay, so I want guys, this is the sequence of my string and what I want guys, after this sequence 2, right, my Python break this, or I can say escape this. So if you want to escape or break between the sequence is called escape sequence. Escape sequence. And you want to break for the new line, you want to break for some extra space, it's called tab. What do you want? You want a tab space, or you want a new line as a space. So we have some keyword, and this keyword called escape sequence keywords. Okay, for example, if you want a space of tabbing, you can use a keyword called T. You want a space for new line, you can use a escape sequence called N. Okay, so for example, I would like to do after 2, I would like to give a new line, I can pass N. But if I again type N will print. Okay, why? Because according to Python, they think N is N. N is just N, right? Is a string. But you tell the Python or you tell the print, this N is not the normal character, it is a special character, and the meaning of this character is a new line, and this is one escape sequence for me. To tell this is not the normal character, it is a special character, you have to write backslash. You write backslash, and this is called new line character. It's called tab character. Okay, and typically these characters are known as escape sequence. Okay, so I have to write backslash here. Now it is working. So whenever you write new line, you can see one new line come up, and next will print after this. Similarly, you can put here T, so it will give one tab space over here. Okay, so one more small thing guys, just for your knowledge, right, in most of the languages, okay, between the string, if you write any special character like escape sequence, if you write the escape sequence between the double quotes, okay, it process and give the output. But if you write the special character between the single quote, they won't process, they will print as it is. For example, what I'm talking about, right, if a same string I put in the single quote, and mostly on most of the language, right, single quote say whatever special character you write, I won't process, I will print exactly the same. I will print backslash T as the same output in most of the languages. By the Python guys, they will do this double quote. I told you guys, in the Python there is no difference between single quote and the double quote. But if you go to PHP or maybe some other languages, you will see if you use the single quote, backslash T won't process, they will print as it is. But here they're not printing as it is. Because in Python there is no difference between single quote and the double quote. But if you have a requirement, maybe sometime we might have a requirement, very rare, but we might have a requirement. I don't want to process backslash T, I don't want to process backslash N. I want the print exactly the same. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to make your string as a row string, raw row string. And how? So for this we have one small keyword here called R. So we start your string with the R, and guys, this R is just outside the your single quote or double quote. Then this string become a row string, and when it's become row, they will print exactly the same. They won't process this. So here they print it. What a special character come up in between, they won't process, and exactly same output will come up for you. Okay, but yeah, single quote, double quote will have the same meaning. So guys, I would like to give one more small task. Let's see who can find. In the next class I will explain you. So guys, in the programming world, anything you write between double quotes, anything, for example, any special character, okay, anything you write in the double quote, so double quote always go inside. Whenever they find special character, they process it, and in the output they give you the final output. Okay, so what is the name of this process? Okay, so in my double quotes, whatever special character you write, they process it. What is the name of this process? What this concept, what is known of this concept is known as what, right? What is the name of this process? You guys might say this is known as parsing. It is not parsing. You guys might answer it is called escaping. It is not escaping. So for this, right, we have a one technical terminology. Even though guys you don't know the terminology, it's okay. You should know the concept. But I just wanted you guys to just find this answer, and maybe if you don't find, I will give the answer tomorrow. Okay, so this is not a parsing. Don't give this answer to me. Don't give this answer to me. Okay, so anything that you write between the double quote, okay, in any other language, maybe in the Python, they will first process, and after the process, they will give you output. But in other language, in the single or by saying the Python and R, they won't process. Okay, so what is don't process? What is the name of that process I'm talking about? So what is the name of this particular concept I'm asking to you, right? So very simple, not simple, but it's one interesting terminology in the programming world. We use this. So one small task again. So again, I will post this task in the Facebook, right, and in my Instagram, or not Insta, in the LinkedIn of IIC Rise. You can give the answer there if you want, if you find someone name. Okay, so that's one thing, but just wanted to tell you. Okay, so that's what guys I have to do here. So I'm going to do here in my Python code, I am asking my print to give one new line, and after this also I want my Python to give one new line. Okay, so a little bit my code look compared to better. Okay, so let me come out from here. Let me go to my desktop again. I see Python code. Here we have the code, and again let me clean my screen. Python, Python, and what's the name? I don't know, my software. So here they speak. They give one new line here, one new line here, and they give the output. Now understand one more thing. I ask for one new line. They give two new line here. Why? Because because guys, print command itself give you a new line. Okay, so one new line come from print function and one new line come from new line function. Why I know? Because guys, whenever you run the print, I ask for to print this string. After they print this string, okay, they give you after the string, they by themselves give you a new line. See here, after the browser, new line come up. So print function in the Python internally have a new line character. Okay, it means if you want to just only give one new line, you don't have to write this. Only give print. That might be you can use, right? So it will by themselves they give you one new line. This is one of the approach. Otherwise, we have other way also to do the same thing. Okay, so again this peak maybe, but you can see now one new line here, one new line they come here. Okay, the very basic concept I'm just explaining here. Okay, one more concept guys I would like to tell you. Sometime we might need let me explain this concept here. Okay, let me print here, and in the print I will ask them enter your choice. Okay, and I'm not giving this output here because I want whatever I would like to display to my final user, I would like print will display, input will only input. That's all. And let me guys don't run this. And guys, in the Python, if you don't want to run any statement, this is called statement, this is called statement. If you don't want to run any statement, you can comment. In the Python, if you want to comment, you can use this symbol to comment. Comment means, for example, if you go to my ID browser fast, so example, if I say 5 plus 2 is run. But if I comment this line, even though if you run, it won't run. It's comment. So if you want to comment a line, this is called line comment. You can use this particular symbol. Okay, so I comment this line and let me only print p just to see the final output. Okay, so again let me run. And guys, print will ask me enter choice. This enter choice is printed by this string, and because I use input, so there is reason my screen is waiting here. And if I type the input 3, and this input will go to p variable, and obviously you know p will print over here. They printed for me. Okay, this part is done. But you know what, this one small challenge, I don't know if you have noticed or not. The one challenge here is, okay, one challenge we have here is, okay, because I use print by default give you a new line. Okay, because they give new line, so input is asking me input in the next line. So it's not doesn't look good actually, because enter choice means they are asking me to enter a choice. I would like to give my choice here, but because I print this line with a print give me the new line. Okay, so I don't want my output my input will ask me the new line. So what you have to do, and what I want, or I would like to do here, what I would like to tell you here is, okay, I would like to tell you here is, okay guys, by chance right, by default I say and guys, whenever I use by default as a term in my program anywhere, when I say by default, it means it is a by default nature, but it means it is already there, but we can change. For example, print is always give new line by default, if you ask or if you don't ask. Okay, it is by default nature, but it is by default means it is hard coded in Intel Python, but we can change it because it is by default. So when I use by default, it means we can change also. So so guys, print is a function, it gives new line, but if you want print won't give the new line, you can change, and you can change only in Python version 3. This concept that I'm going to explain you, it doesn't support on Python version 2. So anybody who ever work on Python 2, if they try, it won't support in Python version 2. So this concept what I'm going to show you, it only work on Python 3. Okay, so what I'm going to show you, let me show you. So let me again go for command line here. So guys, whenever you use print, or even this output you can see very easily here in the command line. Okay, so whenever you use a print, let's say I'm going to print my name, it is by default nature of the print as a function, they always print whatever you ask, plus they give you extra new line. See here, after this, so whenever you write any string, at the end of the string, they always give the new line. Why? Because the guy who create the Python, they create the print function, they create in such a way. But if you see the detail of the print function, guys, if you want to see any detail of any function, that's called help. So we have function available in the Python called help function, and ask help function, can you please tell me something about the print? Can you tell me something about the syntax of the print? We know by chance, guys, we know in the print function we have always pass string, but we can also ask help function. Help will tell you the syntax of print function. For example, we know we have a module called pytts x3, and in this module we know ttx3 speak function. Okay, who created this speak function? We are not the one who created the function, somebody created, right? If somebody created, so how I know what they want? They want some string, they want some number, they want something else. How I know? Obviously I don't know, right? Or even though I don't have to memorize this part, because this function is created by some other developer, or normally the developer always create create a document, and you want to read the document, normally we can use the help function here. Help function. Okay, so if you click here, it will open the help of speak function. Why I write in this way? Because the speak functions belong to this module, and this help function will tell me, okay, this is the function in this module, and the syntax of this function is speak, then you have to type your text here, and that's what we use here. The help is a good function, guys, to see the help of the respective function, how actually they do. Okay, similarly, guys, I can take the help of print function. Guys, not all the help of all the function available, but you can try with the help function. They might 99% the help available. And what this will tell you, okay, this will tell you print is a built-in function. We know, because print we don't need any module to use. Is a built-in function, that we know. Okay, second thing, in the print you can give the value. That's what we know. In the print we always give the value, let's say hi to print, sorry to print. Plus they also give you one more, in the print they give you one more keyword called end. Okay, and end is string append after the last value. Means whenever you use print function, let's say pop some string, So in the end of this string, they appended what? New line. And that easy reason, they give the new line. So this help tell me if you use or if you don't use, right? By default, internally in the print function, we are using and as one argument. And guys, what is argument? When I go for function in the upcoming classes, I'll explain you how to create your own arguments also. Okay, I will discuss you. Okay, and in the argument they are using some internal value of new line. So my plan, guys, what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you want if you want in the Python print, don't give any new line. So you can use comma and manually change this value. So by default value is \n. Okay, if you write this, if you don't write this, this is called by default value. There's this one. But if you don't want to give the new line, and instead of the new line you want they print dot 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 dot. So after this string print, they will print dot 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 at the end. See here, dot dot dot, they print, and they don't give any new line here. But you don't want to print anything, you can just remove it. See here, there's no new line come up, and without the new line the output come up. Okay, so obviously, guys, we don't have to remember, because the guy who create the print function, they are the one who give this keyword name, who give some default values. Okay, maybe I can create my own print. I can give a different name here, different value here. So always help is always the good choice to go and check what they give you as a default value. But what is default? What is the meaning of argument? We will discuss in the future. What is this syntax? We will discuss in the future. When I go for function as a topic, I will explain you why I use comma here and what is the meaning of default. But I just want to tell you this thing also can use. So anywhere, if you don't want to use a new line, for example, here I don't want print will give the new line. So here I can use comma and I can use and and remove it. Don't give anything after this. And this syntax is only supported in Python 3. In Python 2, right, this syntax doesn't support, even though we have other way to do this, but this syntax doesn't support in Python version 2. Okay, so again, come back to this part. Let me again run my code, and now you will see something is somehow formatted. And after this, guys, now your cursor is blinking here. I can give my choice here. That's what I wanted. So guys, if you try to understand the approach, right, I can take this topic separate also, right? I can first explain you print, I can explain new line, I can explain you this keyword. But you know what the approach is, right? We selected, one target, one goal. Our goal is to create a speak system, voice-based control system. And the journey of this requirement or this project, whatever we are facing the issue and whatever requirement come up, we are first go to our command line, learn from here, or go to my Jupyter IDE, learn from here, and use this approach here. So I keep on going to my command line, explaining you one more terms, one more concepts, some of the concepts, right, in the basic level, and then we come back to this this particular page. So this page, guys, is a program, but typically this program is doing something for us in the future. So I can say this is my app, or this is my application, or I can say this is my software, because this software is doing something for you, because this software is going to control this OS from the voice space. So I can say we are going to create our app, but it takes 1 or 2 more days to complete this, because I have to learn lots of concepts here. So let me add, guys, one more thing here, and it will be the final again basic concept, but a final concept for today. Okay, so what I want here, guys, my requirement is when I run this program will give me choice, and when I press 1, I want Chrome browser developer. That's what I want. If I press 2, then a notepad will open. That's what, guys, I want here. And right now it's not working. Why? Because I take the 2 as input, and this 2 input, that will be your choice, guys. After take the input, what you want to do with this variable. you want to print it, you want to store in some databases, I'll show you in the coming class, and you want to you want to send to the cloud. Even though guys cloud is very important, maybe guys you might have a, a good idea of the cloud computing, but I believe guys in this today's world of complete online, as a working professional, or maybe as a maybe as a students, right? Now you can think it should be a prerequisite for all the technical students, right? Cloud computing. So I'm not saying you should be expertise, but I recommend I recommend, everybody should know cloud computing, because if you know the cloud computing, now in the cloud computing you have a capability to work in any of the technology, from big data to DevOps to container, Docker, cloud, machine learning, deep learning, quantum computing, whatever you guys know or you will know. So this will give you a great lab, because our college, our university never provide the lab the way the cloud computing providing. And now because we are everything is online, cloud computing is the very core core thing, right? So everybody, so I highly recommend to you, whenever you get a chance, definitely learn at least the core skills of the cloud. At least you will be comfortable that, now core level thing we can do in the cloud very well, very easily. I highly recommend. Okay, yeah, come to the main point. So what my plan guys over here is what my plan over here is, okay, when I press 2 this print, or when I press 3, they will launch the media player. That's what I want. That's my plan. So like, if you want to do this guys, according according to human being, right? Because right, because if one human being would like to communicate with the other human being, we use a language. Again, Python is also language. Instead of the human being, we have a Python and always. So this code is communicating with the OS. So you can think this code is one human being or one person, and this OS other person. So two person is communicating to each other. Okay. And guys, normally if two-person communicate, for example, let's say this is this is me, Vimal, and we have one more person. Let's say the person name is Jack. Okay, and if Vimal want to communicate with Jack, obviously we use the language. Here we use a Python as a language, or maybe here we might use English as a language. You guys know this part. Why I'm explaining this guys, because when human being guys communicate, normally and most of the times guys, human being while talking take some decisions. Okay, for example, let's say Jack is the one one working in one company, working in the role of HR, human resource, and working human resource department, and this is the one who will take the new joinees in the job. And as me, I am the one maybe one some fresher, I'm looking for the job. And when I go for the job, right, I'll before I give the interview or other process, this HR manager or HR executive has certain thing in their mind. They have certain condition in their mind. Condition something like this. They say they said something like this, right? If we ask for Vimal, and if the Vimal, I ask for the experience, for example, if the experience is greater than equals to 2 years, then only I will give the job, give the job. Otherwise, let me write here. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, I won't give the job. So this Jack as a manager has this condition in their mind. This whole condition in their mind. Okay, before they have, right? Now when the day when Vimal come, this guy come and give the interview. First, maybe in some question they ask, this guy ask from the Vimal, can you please tell me your experience? So we will give the input and we'll say my experience right now, my current requirement, my experience right now is 1 year. So we will give the input. And this input, after we will give, this Jack use their mind. This is the mind of the Jack. and try to apply in their conditions. And what they find, guys, they say in my company we are only looking for the guy who experience is greater than 2, but this guy experience is less than 2. Is because 1, it means my condition is not solved, means what I am looking for, if I am looking for is not match. So what I'll do, I go for otherwise. I won't give the job. I won't give the job. Okay. So this is a way we human being think, right? We always think, right? If we get a movie ticket, or if I get this coupon in this price, if I get this course in this price, if I get this university in this area, I'll get the admission, or otherwise I won't. Most of the time, guys, we always be always be around with a certain condition, right? And for fulfilling the condition, we always take the input like this. We ask, can you tell me the movie ticket? Can you tell me the price of this item? Or can you tell me the price of this course? The duration, something like this. And accordingly, we'll apply on the mind, and either we get get this or don't get this, something like this. So similarly, guys, in the programming language also we can do. Most of you guys might know. I'm talking about if condition, and I here by chance otherwise is not known as otherwise, the otherwise known as else. So guys, this is the one of the simple example you can think. Those who are very new in the programming world. Okay, so it is something like this. I can type. For example, this HR manager has a condition: if the experience of the guy is greater than equals to 2, then we will give the job. Give the job. Otherwise, or to be known as also else, I won't give the job. Something like this. Okay, so this is conditions. Okay, but when Vimal come, they take the input. Input we store in one variable. That's all, guys. This is the way we write conditions. When the condition, guys, you should know one thing. One thing is right. If is a one keyword here, and if is always happy when this condition true. What I mean by true, for this, let me first go to my command line again. Okay, so if you run the Python code, and if I ask, does 5 is greater than 2? We know yes is true, is greater than. So what as a human being say yes, we say yes, or we say yes, or we say true. So true come up. Or does 5 is less than 2? Obviously no. Or does 5 is equals to 2? No. Does 5 is not equal to 2? Yes, it is not equal to. Okay, this is called conditions. Greater than, less than, greater than, equals to, not equals to. And guys, in the condition, we always get the output either in a true or in false. It means 0, 1 or 0. And typically they are known as Boolean. So if you try to store this data in one variable, let's say x, and if I ask s if I ask x what you have, they say I have this data true, because they are not equal. And if I ask the type of the x, I show in my first class, is a Boolean. So the output of the condition, guys, always come in the Boolean. always come in the Boolean. There's one small thing. Okay, now what I'm trying to explain you here is, if you talk about the if say I only like true, if you use the condition, so I will match. So explain, because either is 1 and 1 is given to no, what output come up? False. If say if false come up, I don't like false, I won't give the job. I will send to the else, and whatever else say, I will give them. They will give me. But obviously, if I give the expense 10 here, and the 10 is given to yes. If yes means true come up, if true come up, then I will give the job. So typically, guys, this is known as a condition, and normally in other programming language, the syntax we use is something like this. Or instead of then, we put this guy in one box. After else, we put this guy in the box. Okay, and here we write multiple strings. Give the job, then give some cars, then we give some bank account. So after you explain true, then I will do a lot of things for you. Give the job, give the card, give the bank account of the bank, the company, salary account maybe. Okay, so guys, these are not statements. This is one function we do, second function we run, third function we run. But if your experience is not greater than or equal to 2, I won't do anything for you. So I will directly, I say just try next time. Okay, so typical, guys, this is a basic syntax of the if or else. Most of you guys might know, but I have to again explain you. Okay, but I would like to tell you one more small thing here. This is a syntax mostly in most of the languages, maybe Java or C or maybe PHP language. When Python syntax is a little bit different, but concept is same. Okay, but I just want to tell you here, okay, just one more time. If need either true or false, that's all. Boolean. So either you can put true or false directly here, or you can write some condition here. They will give you true or false. But whatever you write here in the front of if, the final output either will be in the true or in the false. And here, in this case, 10 is getting 2, then we get the true here. And if we get the true, then if will go inside this box. And this box is called block of code. They will go block of code of if, and also known as suite of code. They will go to suite of code of if. So if happy means when they get a true, they will run their block of code. And if he's not happy means they get a false, they will send the block of code of the if, and whatever you write in the if, they will do for you. So it's all the game of true and false here, conditions here. Okay, and so in this case, guys, if it will true, this true will come up. So if we run this block of code, whatever you write here, for example, here in my case, obviously this is not an actual function. In the Python, we will normally we can print here, or we can print here. Let me remove this. Obviously, guys, this is not actual keyword. We have to print here. Okay, so in this case, this will true, so we get this output. Okay, otherwise, if false, they will get this output. But in the Python, Python, guys, we don't use a curly braces. Okay, not if or else, guys. There are a lot of more keyword come up in the future. For example, one while loop come in the future, for loop come in the future, classes come in the future, functions come in the future. A lot of new keywords concepts come up, and in almost all the concepts we have to use some block of code. Lots of code you write in one box like this. So in the Python, guys, wherever the block of code come up, right, in normal languages you have to use curly braces start, curly braces close. But in the Python, in Python, right, whenever the block of code come up, you don't have to use curly braces. This is not the syntax of the Python, and you don't have to use the curly braces. You have to write in this way. Okay, so you don't have to use curly braces. Okay, but the biggest challenge is, guys, if we don't put the curly braces, so Python will confuse. How Python come to know if start or where the block of code of if. My block of code is start here, then here, and then this one and this one. So my block of code is a 4 statement or 1 statement or 2 statement or 3 statement. So how they come to know where the block of statement close? To tell the Python, because in the Python we don't use curly braces, to tell to if that you have, for example, let me write one more keyword here or one more statement here. Let's say bye. So how if come to know, right? How, let me get, even though, let me run this code here. So if I run my code here, what here, and if I try to run this entire code, Python will confuse and it will fail. See here, it fail. Or with other region also we have to fail, but it's fail for you. Because Python confuse, they say if it started here, I know, but I don't know, because you don't write start and you don't and like this here, or you don't and over here, or you don't and over here. How I come to know where my block of code is closed? How I come to know? To tell Python that your block of code is completed here after third line. To tell this, what you do, all the block of code of if, you have to give some space. Okay, so by this, if come to know, this is a syntax in the Python we use, right? So if will go the second line, and whenever they find some space, if come to know, this is my block of code statement. Again they go to next line, same space they find. Okay, they will they will find again this is my block of code. Again this is a block of code. After this, guys, they don't find any space here. If come to know, now my block of code complete. It means this 3 statement is belong to my block of code like this. Okay, and guys, this spaces you give right? In the normal text editor or WordPad, this space called indent, and giving this space is typically known as indentation. Indentation. And guys, in the Python, we don't use curly brace anywhere. In the curly brace, you have to give a space. Space means indentation, and it's compulsory. It's a syntax of the Python, compulsory. Why compulsory? I will explain you one great reason for this. I will explain you, but it is compulsory to give the indentation. Okay, here also I'll start here, and this is a block of code of else. Let me maybe else might have some more function to run. So again, this, let's say by again indentation. And one more small thing, guys. If you give two space here, will be your choice. All the block of code will be in the same indent. If you give more space or less space, it will be same indent. Why? And why indent they use? There is a great reason, not management reason actually. I will explain in upcoming class. Okay, and one more thing, guys. In the if there's some more keyword come up in the future, normally we after in this condition we use a parenthesis, but in the here we don't have to use parenthesis. You can write directly. You can write directly. But tell to the Python this if, and this is the condition. After condition, next line we have a block of code. You have to use colon. After else, next is block of code. You use colon. So guys, this is the this is the syntax of the Python. So guys, this is very common syntax we use a lot. So one or two more time I will use. You would be more comfortable. But let me go show you one quick demo here. Okay, then we conclude today's class. Okay, so example, if I say x equals to 5, and if I say if x is greater than equals to 5, okay, does greater than equal to 2, does condition true? Yes, 5 is greater than 2. Let me use only greater than 2, greater than, then colon. If greater than, if will go inside the code and run it. And if I don't give the indent here, for example, you can see error come up. If say, what do you write next? Obviously, it should be my block of code. You have to give the indent. Otherwise, I give the error. If I type one more time, and if I give one space, two space, it will be your choice. At least one space you have to give. And let's say hi. Then no error come up. Again, I have to write some more thing in the if. Write it one more time. I want to run some more thing in the if. But this time I am giving one more extra space. But if say or any of the keywords say right, if your all the block of code should be same indent, either 2, either 1, either 100, it will be same indent. But if you give extra space or less space in one of the statement, again we give there. Right. So so indentation is in the Python you have to follow. There is a technical good reason for this. I will explain in my next class, right? But right now let me run my code properly fastly. If print hi, and then else, again indent by, for example. Obviously high come up. Why? There's two statements I run, but why they print high? Because this is true, and whenever I spend true, if we'll run their block of code, x is 5, the high come up. Okay, so this is a way you can get that. Even though you can also run this code. If I run this code, because proper code, if I run this code here, let me paste here. You can see there will be no error come up. 1 minute. Copy. Sorry guys. So let me copy till here. Copy and print. So there is no error come up because my expense greater than 10 and company looking for more than 2 years. It's true. So if we run all the 3 code, you can see all the 3 output come up. Okay, so it's working good. No challenge. Okay, and guys, why I explain this topic? I just guys need 5 more minutes. I would like to conclude my initial part of my app. So why I explain this part here? Because we are going to use here in this app. So in this app, guys, we are going to use where let me show you. So in this app of Python, what I want, if somebody type 1 column print, if somebody type 2 or 3 media plan print, that's what I want. So what can we do? We can add conditions here. But whatever we type, it go in the P. So what I do here, I say if P is equals to 1, indent, What is 1? The 1 I would like to run the Chrome. So run the Chrome. Okay. Else, anything else? Okay. Let's say don't support. I'm going to write one condition here. Don't support, for example. Okay. So if anybody type 1, we go to 1. Does P is equal to 1? Yes. If yes, because we are looking for the Chrome to launch, so they will print the Chrome. Let's say. And anything apart from F1, for example, if I press 30, they will print this. So let me check this code is working or not. So when I run this code, when I press for some other number, okay, it go to P variable. Does P is equals to 1? No. So it go to here, and what output will come up? Not supported. That's great. But if I type 1, guys, again I'm asking what output will come up if I press 1. So what do you think, guys? What output come up? It will print Chrome or will print not support? What will come up? And again, if I press 1, again not support come up. Why? Very small reason. Why? Very small reason. So let me open one terminal here to quickly show you. So in the Python, okay, whenever you ask input from the input function and store in some variable, let's say if I ask 25 is showing X, you can see X. But when you ask any input from the input function, this input function convert everything into a string. See here, this 25 is number we know, but they convert to a string. And obviously, if you compare any string with the number, even though this is 25, X is also 25, X is also 25 equal, but because this is integer or this is a this is a string, obviously they will tell you false. They are not comparable. Okay, so either convert this number into a string or convert this string into a number. And guys, this X is an integer, it's a string. If you want to convert this X is a number but it's actually a string into integer, we have an int function. So int will convert any string that has actual number internally, convert the string data type into the number data type. Now if I compare these two guys together, able to. The very basic thing, guys. So be sure, guys, whenever taking any input from the input function, right? If you're passing any number, they will convert into a string. So here, what I'm going to do, I am converting this P into the integer. Then I can compare. Now again, if I go here and if I check, and if I type other number, obviously it's not support. If I type again, they're waiting because I use speak here. You don't want to play again and again. Just comment this line, so it will save our time. And if I press 1, so now they print the Chrome. Here they don't run the Chrome, they print the Chrome, because guys, program will do only those things whatever I ask them to do. Because right now I ask my program to print, they print for you. So this will be your choice. But if you don't want program will print, instead of print they run the Chrome, so I just go and change here. Okay, so I ask your system function to run the Chrome, and you guys know system function belong to OS, and OS module we already loaded here. But be sure, guys, indentation here. Maybe 2 or 4, we can choose any of the indent we want. Okay, now in this program, guys, the program is a little bit more interactive. Nobody have to know about internal commands. If I press 1, they will launch the Chrome first. Here, working good. But here, guys, if I press 2 or 3, nothing is happening because I use only one condition. But if I want to do more condition here, let me copy this. Copy here. So I say if somebody press 2, because we are the developer, we know 2 is notepad, and we know the enter command of notepad. We right here. If somebody press 3, we know is media player, but we know the internal command of the media player. We can type here. If somebody press 3, I will launch WM player. Okay. So multiple conditions also we can write. But only condition, guys, right? The multi condition work in this way. They will first check this one. If this is true, they will run this statement and they will skip all the guys. If this is false, they will go check second statement. Again, this is false, they will say third statement. If this is true, they will run this command and they will skip all the guys. And guys, by chance, this condition is called as first we have to write if, and after if everything is else if. This is also else if, and this is also else if. Okay, so I want this. If this doesn't work, else if run this, else if run this, and none of the condition match, finally go for else. I said don't support. Again, by chance in the Python, else if is used by a keyword called elif. There's in some of the language we have keyword called else if, but in the Python, the keyword is no called elif, typically known as else if. Okay, so these guys syntax you can use. And now finally my initial code has been ready. Okay, so now if I run my code, and one more thing guys, in most of the language for doing same thing, if it's 1 do this, if it's 2 do this, if it's 3 do this. In most of the language, almost all the languages support else or if else. Okay, if or if else. And in some of the language we have one more support called switch and cases. Switch and cases. And in if or else if or else. So in all the language guys, we have this support also and this support also, but working wise they are almost same. And that is the reason guys Python say, because working wise they are same, there's no meaning to use two things, so don't use this. So in the Python guys we don't have a support for switch and the cases, right? So whatever you, when any time guys you have a requirement to do this condition, if this is true do this, else if do this, else if do this, or else do this. Okay, if any have this kind of requirement, okay, then you need to use if else if. Okay, so that's what we do. We don't have a support of switch or case, if anybody know this, right? Now this program ready. If I write 45, I say it doesn't support. And why they print 45 here? Because I print here. Don't want to print, don't print it. Save. Okay, but if I run 1, they launch the Chrome. If I write 3, they launch a media player. If right, let me close. And if I if I run 2, they launch the Notepad. Okay, Notepad. Now it's a little bit over. So guys, again, interesting thing is a very small app we have created. So anybody who want to use Windows or Linux, they don't have to know the internal programs of Windows. By looking at the name, they just type 3 and 2. But here guys, in today we have to type the number. But my final requirement is not this one, right? My final requirement, when I run my code, they won't ask me. It will speak. It is like a chat, online speak we do with a Siri or Alexa. They speak what you want. I will say, can you please launch the media player for me? And they will understand my voice. And after they understand my voice, they will launch for me. So it's like an online chat or live voice we would like to use. Okay, so that will be our final guys plan for this process. And guys, in this process guys, we will also going to learn a lot of things guys. If you talk about today, lots of concepts of Python we have learned. So in this ongoing process, I will explain you every concepts, and and while explain the concept, lots of interesting concepts or thing we are going to do. Okay, so that's all guys for today. Very quickly, I just want to tell you. Okay, I asked you guys in the last class, I asked you to go and check the RAM. I think most of you guys try and put, right. I want guys please take some more time, and other guys who haven't tried how to read the RAM, try it, and then in upcoming classes I will give this answer to you. I'm not giving today because I want other guys also try, because when you try, maybe you don't get the answer, but you learn a lot of new things. So I have the answer with me, but I will give you the answer soon. I want try this. So the one more task I would like to again repeat, how to read the entire RAM. Okay, and 2 or 3 tasks or 4 tasks I have given to you today: how to WhatsApp, how to SMS, how to do email, or how to one more task I forgot, but I will put all the tasks in the Rise channel of your Facebook or LinkedIn. You can post your answers there, and let's see who will give the perfect answer or the best answers. Okay, so that's all for today guys. Our class normally is of 2 hours. Okay, maybe some more minute we consume sometime depending on the topics. Okay, so what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to open the chat box, or if you have any queries, you guys can ask me. Okay, so I am opening the chat box. Okay, so so guys, any query if you have, you can ask me. If chat box is not open, you guys know, just go back, come back in the same link of your YouTube. Your chat box will pop up, and after the chat box pop up, you will see chat box come up and you can ask your query. So any other query respect to today's class, you can ask me, or we have guys already created a WhatsApp group for you. I believe almost everybody is a part of group. If not, so in this today video, in the comment link, we have give you some link. Maybe somewhere you can contact to some of our team member. They will help you to connect. Guys, we have also shared you some Red Hat video. I ask you guys to go to all the Red Hat video. Why? In the upcoming class we're going to use this. So anybody who have missed the video of 2 or 3 video we have shared with you, highly recommend. You guys going to learn lots of new thing there, but we are going to use in the upcoming class, right? That part. Okay, so let's me guys pick some of the questions over here. If guys, due to any reason, if PYTTSX3 is not working, so there might be possibility you haven't you haven't you haven't installed it. So you have to install it first, right? With a command called your command called pip install pytts. So in the first class, I believe I show you how to install. So you have to install pyttx3 if it's not working. Yes, guys. Somebody asked me about cookies. So when I go for web technology training, I explain guys cookies in detail. Even though we configure our own cookies without the web technology, also I will explain you in that classes, right? How to use the cookie. Okay. What is Flask argument? Venkat asked me. We will use maybe some of the example in upcoming where to use the Flask, right? So almost guys everything whatever you normally use and see we will see everything, right? Guys, I'm trying to make the speed in a normal way. So lots of guys might know the language, so they won't feel it is go very slowly. Anybody who have the zero knowledge, so I'm touching everything from very basics, right? Even though I start if also from very basics. Okay, so if anybody who feel speed a little bit faster, because this video would be there for you for maybe so for some time, you just go back again, rewind the video, and again listen that this concept again. But I again believe because this concept we use on the day-to-day basis, right? After you'll see this concept will repeat some more time, you would be very much comfortable with this concept, right? Again, Python guys, normally in the language, after you write the statement, you have to use semicolon. In the Python, it will be your choice. You would like to use semicolon, or you don't want to use your semicolon. That would be your choice. So in the Python, if you don't write, or if you write the semicolon after every statement, it will work for you. Yes, Nikhil, you can use the Jupyter to write the code. Most of the guys in this particular example right now, because my plan is to create the app, so I can share to a customer. I create my code in 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 the normal file, but maybe a lot of code we are going to use in the Jupyter. I just want to introduce Jupyter today. So when any time I would like to quickly start the Jupyter, I don't want it would be overwhelming for you. That is the reason I show you Jupyter here today to just show you. Okay, so notebook guys, Ravinder, I explain you in the Jupyter when you open new file where you write the code are known as what do you say are known as notebook. Okay. And if the interview asks what will you will choose GUI or CLI for creating a file, I don't think so. Subham interview asked this question, right? Because this question doesn't make any sense, right? So doesn't make any sense because you use GUI CLI, it will be your choice. But I feel CLI is a little bit more faster after use CLI multiple times, right? But I don't think so. None of the interview will ask you this. Guys, Nihal, if Reddit is hitting your PC, use for some time, then switch it, right? You switch it. Guys, somebody asked, tell me here, switch and doesn't support in Python. I told you guys, switch or cast keyword doesn't support in Python, even though you can find multiple blocks because you can create your own switch or cast functions, but typically from the Python perspective, switch and cast doesn't support. Okay, how to convert your app code into app? Sushant, we will discuss in upcoming class. Even just at second, third day, we will discuss in the upcoming class. Okay. Yeah, sort of, I agree with you 100%. It's a very bad thing to put the criteria, because talent actually, talented student never get the percentage on the college, right? So if company is giving eligibility criteria 60%, it means they're losing the actual core technical guys, right? Because technical guys never study what the core subject is. They always be always in the different uh, state of mind on learning something new, right? It's a bad criteria. I don't agree. What you sort of you are saying, you're absolutely right here. Okay, so Om Prakash, you said please find Binod. I don't understand Om Prakash. What exactly you're talking about? What is Binod you're talking about? In which context you're talking about? In any case, PYTTS X3 is not working. I suggest install it, or otherwise ask in your channels. Technical volunteers will help you guys. Okay, if you go through my video of Red Hat, it is the original Red Hat class. Even though I cover the content 10 times more in detail, so that is actual original class of RSCSA. Okay, RSCSA. Okay, any guys, any issue of connecting with the Telegram group or any WhatsApp group, I suggest, I think from my company side, we have mailed you some connect number of the success had. So if you guys check your mail, or if you go and check your spam box also from IIEC or from our company, or maybe from Preeti, if you open, they will instruct you how to connect with other teams member. Guys, if Chrome is not working, if you go to my last video, they explain you, if Chrome is not working, you have to set the environment variable, and then it will work for you guys. Imtihaj, Atom is just like a text editor, right? Jupyter has some different capability, all right? So both are good, would be your choice. In my case, instead of the 8 Atom, I am going to I will use VS Code, right? What is VS Code? I will explain you in upcoming class, right? But you can use Atom is like a text editor. Code wise, there will be no change, right? You can use PyCharm, Pranali, you can use any of the IDE wherever you are comfortable, on Atom or Sublime or Notepad++. Technical wise, code wise, your code is exactly same. There will be no difference come up, right? So you can use any of the IDE, whatever you feel like. Okay. So yes, guys, you will get a certificate from IIC after you successfully complete this training. When I say successfully, all the tasks, all the jobs, all the classes, assignment, summary, I told you in last class how to give the attendance. Okay, you have to put, right? So after complete the complete class, you will get the certificate, guys. I will explain you in upcoming class. Anybody who wanted to differentiate the ID, even there's no so much requirement to discuss this part, but if you want, maybe in the upcoming class, I will discuss you guys about right, those things. Well, can we you discuss the use case of sending? Yes, Sunny, definitely, right, definitely there might be hundreds of use cases, or you can use the Python to automate this part. So we can create a Python code who will who will collect the report or generate the report, who send the mail to us, right? So we might discuss, right? Yes, MJ, we are going to create something like a voice assistant project, right? Okay, so let me pick some more questions here. How to install pip? Vijay, you can install the pip multiple way we have right now. For some day, if you want to sync with me, I suggest to install Anaconda automatic install pip for you. How to install Anaconda in the first class I explain you, but in the upcoming class I will also explain you without the Anaconda also how can install. But I don't want to go for those topic right now. Little bit extra knowledge you require for that. Okay, so I suggest use the Anaconda. It will give the it will give the pip. Yes, guys, etc. You can also use Eclipse. Any of the IDE you can use for Python. We will guys discover break keyword. Don't worry, right? Whenever we need a break cover, like maybe, and you'll see guys in upcoming 4 or 5 classes, almost all the major keyword of the languages and concept will be covered, right? Don't worry, guys. How to set the path to, guys, today we discussed. If you go and rewind my video, you will come to know, I explain you there how to set the video. Seriously, we will discuss about the framework. We going to use some framework in the future. That time you will again come to know the use of the framework, right? Okay. So guys, most of the question you guys asking, if you go through this video again, some of the question again, what you asking, it will be there, or most of the question guys you are asking would be covered in this upcoming class. Maybe most of the concept may be covered tomorrow, right? So just give me 2 or 3 classes. Most of the questions what you asking would be covered there, right? So that's all guys. I just want to conclude today. Just wait for 2 or 3 more classes. Almost all the questions and query you asking would be complete there. Okay. And guys, yes, we will provide you 2 certificates after this training. One would be training certificate after you successfully completed, and in the last we will I will explain you some projects where you guys work on, and if you create the project, we will also give you project or an intensive certificate also to you. Okay, so we will guys provide a 2 certificate to everybody who have done this part, right? Okay. So that's all, guys, from my side, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, Sunday, at 8 p.m. in the IST time, right? That's all, guys, for today, and see you guys in the next class. Okay, just bye. Take care. See you. Bye. Take care.